Hello again, and I am Pink Lemonade Guy. In today's video, I will be explaining and breaking down all of the weapons and other items that survivors can use in the Left 4 Dead games. So, let's get straight to it. First, I will be going over the primary weapons or primary guns. There are 5 introduced in Left 4 Dead 1: the pump shotgun, the submachine gun, the auto shotgun, the assault rifle, and the hunting rifle. The pump shotgun is a primary weapon that made its appearance in both Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, with its debut in Left 4 Dead 1. This shotgun deals heavy damage to a single enemy, or lighter damage to many, in a spread. It holds 8 shells with 128 in reserve in Left 4 Dead and 72 in Left 4 Dead 2. A spread of the 8 pellets in a shell, or 10 pellets in Left 4 Dead, can take down multiple common infected per shot. This often makes it better at handling hordes in the submachine gun, pistols, or even its Left 4 Dead 2 counterpart, the chrome shotgun. It reloads about 2 shells per second and fires 1 shell per second. Since the pump shotgun has a maximum effective range of approximately 40 to 50 meters, or 131 to 164 feet, pistols are its superior for ranged encounters. Its alternate names are the Renegade Rangemaster and Remington Model 870, which was manufactured in the United States. It's a shotgun and its weapon tier is 1. Its magazine size is 8. Its ammunition, the one it can hold, is 8 plus 128 in Left 4 Dead 1 and 8 plus 72 in Left 4 Dead 2. It does 250 damage per shot, or 10 pellets times 25. Its rate of fire is 60 per minute, or 1 per second. Its damage per second is 250. Its damage per magazine is 2,000. Its total damage overall is 34,000 in Left 4 Dead 1 and 20,000 in Left 4 Dead 2. The submachine gun is a tier 1 weapon that is available to players at the start of most chapters and is automatically equipped to those who have respawned in a rescue closet after dying. It made its appearance in Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, and it made its debut in Left 4 Dead 1. This weapon deals the lowest damage per shot of any weapon in the game, including pistols, but makes up for that by having the highest rate of fire of any weapon in the game, tied with the silent submachine gun. It has 50-round magazines. In Left 4 Dead 2 it has 650 rounds, while in Left 4 Dead 1, 480 rounds. Accuracy-wise, it excels at short ranges but can also engage medium-range targets, which is helped when the player crouches to fire. Although it is replaced by the Tier 2 assault rifle, its rate of fire is higher than the heavier rifles. Alternate names for this weapon are the Uzi or the machine pistol, and its place of origin is Israel. Its weapon tier is 1, its magazine size is 50, its ammunition is 650, it does 20 damage per shot, its reload time is 2.27 seconds, its rate of fire is 960 per minute, or 16 per second, and 1 shot per 0.06 seconds. Its damage per second is 320, its damage per magazine is 1000, and its total damage overall is 14,000. The auto shotgun is a tier 2 weapon that was introduced in Left 4 Dead 1 and makes its appearance in both games. It is a more powerful version of the pump and chrome shotgun that does not require a pump after each shot. It also has a slightly higher DPS than the combat shotgun at point blank. It holds a maximum of 10 shells at a time with 90 in reserve in Left 4 Dead 2. It is the best short-range weapon in the game, capable of firing extremely fast and taking out massive numbers of infected per shot. It fires slowly if the fire button is held down, but significantly faster if the button is mashed, so it should always be fired manually. Up close, the auto shotgun outputs near unparalleled single target damage, allowing it to shred any infected that come close. However, its relatively low capacity, low accuracy, and short range compared to other tier 2 weapons makes it very poor against distant special infected, such as a smoker and spitter, which encourages use of pistol variants as a secondary weapon. Its alternative names are Tactical Shotgun and the Benelli M4 Super 90, and its place of origin is Italy. It is a shotgun and its weapon tier is 2. Its magazine size is 10 rounds, and its ammunition is 10 plus 128 in Left 4 Dead 1, and 10 plus 90 in Left 4 Dead 2. Its damage per shot is 300, 25 times 12 pellets in Left 4 Dead 1, and 253, 23 times 11 pellets in Left 4 Dead 2. Its rate of fire is 200 per minute, or 3.33 per second. Its damage per second is 1000 in Left 4 Dead 1, or 843.33 in Left 4 Dead 2. Its damage per magazine is 3000 in Left 4 Dead 1, and 2530 in Left 4 Dead 2. Its total damage is 41,400 in Left 4 Dead 1, and 25,300 in Left 4 Dead 2. The assault rifle made its debut in Left 4 Dead 1 and appears in both Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. It is a Tier 2 automatic rifle. It features a 50-round magazine with 360 rounds in reserve. The assault rifle's damage fall off as it loses 3% damage per 500 units, and after 1,500 units it suffers significantly greater damage fall off. It has a max range of 3,000 units. In summary, the assault rifle offers a balanced accuracy, fast reload, and general adaptability compared to other rifles in its tier. Its alternative names are just the assault rifle or the M16A2, which has its origins from the United States. Its weapon type is the assault rifle and main weapon, and its weapon tier is 2. Its magazine size is 50, and its ammunition is 50 plus 360. Its damage per shot is 33. Its rate of fire is 686 per minute, or 11.43 per second, or 1 shot 0.008 per second. Its damage per second is 377.1. Its damage per magazine is 1,650, and its total damage is 13,530. The hunting rifle is the most accurate firearm in Left 4 Dead, and is also slightly more accurate than the sniper rifle in Left 4 Dead 2 when the player is moving. It made its debut in Left 4 Dead 1, and it makes its appearance in both games. It is a semi-automatic Tier 2 scoped rifle. The hunting scope is accessed using a dedicated control. The rifle is highly accurate when used without reference to the scope, but movement of any kind degrades the quality to a marked degree. Unlike other weapons, crouching has little effect on the rifle's accuracy, unless the player is moving, in which case the spread is tighter when the player is moving while crouching than when running. It holds a 15-round magazine with 150 rounds in reserve and can shoot through a wide variety of hardcover, thus allowing a player to engage all classes of the infected hidden behind doors, partition walls, furniture, and so forth. The hunting rifle's superb bullet penetration power is especially useful when facing a horde, since a single round can pass through several enemies at once. When required, the hunting rifle can be fired almost as fast as a single M1911 pistol. However, it is normally fired at a slow rate, which is a plus factor in conserving ammo, and thus something to be borne in mind when choosing a weapon prior to entering a phase in a chapter known to be heavily infested with enemies. Its alternative name is just the hunting rifle or the Ruger Mini 14, and its place of origin is the United States. It's a sniping rifle, and it's a main weapon, and its weapon tier is 2. Its magazine size is 15, its ammunition is 165, its damage per shot is 90, its rate of fire is 240 per minute, its damage per second is 360, and its damage per magazine is 1,350, and its total damage is 14,850. Okay, now this next part will be primary weapons that were introduced in Left 4 Dead 2. It will include the chrome shotgun, the silent submachine gun, the combat shotgun, the sniper rifle, the combat rifle, the AK-47, the grenade launcher, and the M60 machine gun. The chrome shotgun is a pump-action shotgun variant introduced in Left 4 Dead 2. It has the tightest spread of all the shotguns in the game, which makes it more effective against distant targets than the other shotguns. Compared to the pump shotgun, it has a tighter spread and more damage per pellets, 31 instead of 25, but fewer pellets overall, 8 instead of 10, leading to a negligibly lower amount of total damage. The difference between the total damage of all 80 shots done by this and the pump shotgun is only 128 damage. in other words, close to half a shot. Like the other shotguns, its high damage per shot and high penetration against common infected also makes it a good weapon for handling hordes. All shotguns allowing topping off the magazine on the fly, and the reloading process can be stopped to handle sudden threats using shells already loaded in its tube magazine. An effective tip is to reload constantly, as this allows a chrome shotgun to be fired almost endlessly, so long as the user is not surrounded by infected and forced to spend their entire magazine. Its alternative name is a Remington Model 870, and its origin is the United States. Its weapon type is a shotgun, and its weapon tier is 1. Its magazine size is 8, its ammunition is 8 plus 72, or 56 on the Xbox 360, its damage per shot is 248, or 8 pellets times 31 damage each, its rate of fire is 60 per minute, or 1 per second, its damage per second is 248, its damage per magazine is 1,984, and its total damage is 19,840. The silent submachine gun is a submachine gun variant that was introduced in Left 4 Dead 2. It features a sound suppressor with a flashlight attached to it, with cable ties, a 50-round magazine, and 650 rounds of ammo reserve. Together with the chrome shotgun, pump shotgun, submachine gun, and MP5 for non-Xbox versions, it is one of the standard weapons issued to players at the start of a campaign. The silent submachine gun has a high rate of fire and great stopping power than the normal submachine gun, in exchange for worse accuracy and a higher bullet spread, being the least accurate submachine gun variant. Common infected will drop almost instantly when hit with a short burst, and it makes short work of weak special infected. While it's not very powerful against tanks, this weapon shoots fast enough, and it may be a powerful tier 1 weapon that can take it down with some extra help, such as other players using this weapon too, and the tank's large size makes its inaccuracy less of a problem. The silent submachine gun's damage falls off by 16% every 500 hammer units. It suffers significantly greater damage fall past 900 hammer units, and it has a max range of 2,200 hammer units. Its alternative names are the Silenced SMG and the MAC-10, and its origins are from the United States. Its weapon type is a machine pistol and a main weapon, and its weapon tier is 1. The magazine size is 50, the ammunition is 50 plus 650, the damage per shot is 25, the reload time is 2.27 seconds, the rate of fire is 960 per minute, or 16 per second, or 1 shot 0.06 seconds. Its damage per second is 400, its damage per magazine is 1,250, and its total damage is 17,500. The combat shotgun is a tier 2 auto shotgun variant that was introduced in Left 4 Dead 2. It holds up to 10 shells with 90 in reserve and tends to spawn in the same places as the auto shotgun. It is a more accurate version of its counterpart, much like the chrome shotgun is to the pump shotgun. It has the second tightest spread of all shotguns, beaten by the aforementioned chrome shotgun, making it more effective at mid-range compared to the auto shotgun. Compared to the auto shotgun, the combat shotgun has a tighter spread and more damage per pellet, 28 instead of 23, but fewer pellets overall, 9 instead of 11, leading to a negligibly lower amount of total damage. The difference between the total damage of all 100 shots done by this and the auto shotgun is only 100 damage. In other words, less than half a shot. Like the other shotguns, its high damage per shot and high penetration against common infected also makes it a good weapon for handling hordes. Its alternative names are the Spaz shotgun and the Franchi Spaz 12, with its origin coming from Italy. Its weapon type is a shotgun, and its weapon tier is 2. Its magazine size is 10 rounds, its ammunition is 10 plus 90, its damage per shot is 252, 28 times 9 pellets, its rate of fire is 200 per minute, or 3.33 per second, its damage per second is 840, its damage per magazine is 2,520, and its total damage is 25,200. The sniper rifle is a hunting rifle variant that was introduced in Left 4 Dead 2. As a tier 2 weapon, the sniper rifle deals high damage against special infected while still killing common infected in one hit. This weapon is extremely accurate at long ranges on account of the quality of the scope sight. It has a magazine capacity of 30 rounds, double that of the hunting rifle. Its alternative names are the military sniper or the Heckler and Koch G3SG/1, and its place of origin is Germany. It is a sniping rifle and main weapon, and its weapon tier is 2. Its magazine size is 30, its ammunition is 210, its damage per shot is 90, its rate of fire is 240 per minute, its damage per second is 360, its damage per magazine is 2,700, and its total damage is 18,900. The combat rifle is a tier 2 assault variant in Left 4 Dead 2, and that has a capacity of 60 rounds per magazine and is based on the real-life FN SCAR-L. Unlike the other assault rifles, it fires in 3-round bursts. Contrary to burst rifles featured in other games, where the trigger must be pulled every time a burst is fired, this weapon's trigger can be held down for multiple bursts. Sustained bursts make for a more accurate spread of fire than the M16 and AK-47. The combat rifle's damage falls off with distance, starting with 3% damage per 500 hammer units, and a significantly greater damage fall off after 1,500 hammer units. It has a max range of 3,000 hammer units. Its alternative names are the Desert Rifle or the FN SCAR, and its place of origin is Belgium. It is an assault rifle and main weapon, and its weapon tier is 2. Its magazine size is 60, its ammunition is 60 plus 360, its damage per shot is 44, its rate of fire is 502.3 per minute, its damage per second is 368.4, its damage per magazine is 2,640, and its total damage is 18,480. The AK-47 is an automatic rifle that was introduced in Left 4 Dead 2, losing fire rate, magazine size, and accuracy in comparison to all the other assault rifles for the highest damage per second and capable of effectively taking down hordes and tanks. The AK-47 damage fall off as it loses 3% damage per 500 hammer units, and after 1,500 hammer units until the unit it suffers significantly greater damage fall off. It has a max range of 3,000 hammer units. Alternative names for it is the Soviet rifle, the AK, the Avtomat Kalashnikova, or just the Kalashnikov, or the AKMN. Its weapon type is an assault rifle, and its weapon tier is 2. And it is Soviet in origin, though it is now modern-day Russia. The magazine size is 40, the ammunition is 40 plus 360, the damage per shot is 58, the reload time is 2.5 seconds, the rate of fire is 461.5 per minute, or 7.6 per second, or 1 shot per 0.13 seconds. Its damage per second is 446.1, its damage per magazine is 2,320, and its total damage is 23,200. The grenade launcher is a primary weapon that made its debut in Left 4 Dead 2. This is a single-shot weapon. It launches a low-velocity explosive shell or grenade with a blast effect that kills common infected and weaker spectral infected in its immediate vicinity. Any infected who are not killed by the blast are injured and stumbled, except chargers and tanks who are immune to the stumbling effect. A break-open design, the grenade launcher can only hold 1 shell at a time and has a long reload time. Since its leaf-type sights are permanently folded down and play no part in its operation, users seeking a distant target must use trial and guesswork to walk shells onto the target on account of this weapon's high recoil looping trajectory. However, because its accuracy is identical to that of the sniper rifle while standing still, in theory the only thing required for pinpoint accuracy is the player's range estimation of the arching 40mm HE grenade. The grenade launcher itself is based off of the M79 grenade launcher, which its origins originate from the United States. Its weapon tier is special, or sometimes called Tier 3. Its magazine size is 1, its ammunition is 1 plus 30, its damage per shot is 400 normally, or 1000 plus to the tank, its rate of fire is approximately 16 RPM, its damage per second is not applicable, its damage per magazine is 400, and its total damage is 12,400. Also, you cannot replenish the grenade launcher's ammunition. Once it runs out of shells or grenades, then the said survivor that's holding it will have to find another weapon. The M60 is a special tier weapon that was introduced in Left 4 Dead 2. It carries only 150 rounds and after being depleted is dropped by the survivors. The survivor will then revert to their secondary weapon, much like with the grenade launcher. Functionally, the M60 works as an assault rifle and is internally classified as a modified AK-47. The M60 is unique due to it being one of the few weapons that is capable of instantly killing a common infected in a single shot on any difficulty, causing them to blow up into pieces due to the M60's high caliber rounds. It shares this instant kill mechanic with the Magnum pistol. Additionally, its low capacity is counterbalanced by it never needing to reload, and ammo upgrades will convert all remaining ammunition in the gun, making it the most effective gun for using incendiary or explosive rounds. Its alternative names are the machine gun, the caliber 7.62mm, or just the M60, and its place of origin is the United States. Its weapon type is main, and its weapon tier is special or tier 3. Its magazine size is 150, its ammunition is 0 because you cannot replenish its ammo once it's depleted, its damage per shot is 50, its rate of fire is 545.5 per minute, or 9.09 per second, or 1 shot per 0.1 seconds. Its damage per second is 454.5, its damage per magazine is 7,500, and its total damage is 7,500. Now this next part I will be explaining the sidearms for Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. First I will go over the guns. These pistols include the M1911 pistol, the P220 pistol, the Glock, and the Magnum pistol. The M1911 pistol is the backup weapon of the survivors in Left 4 Dead 1. It's also the only weapon that they can use while incapacitated, although with a slower rate of fire and greatly decreased accuracy. Besides a minigun, pistols are the only weapon that have infinite ammunition. However, they are still limited to a magazine capacity of 15 rounds. Even though they are meant as emergency weapons, the pistols make great secondaries, or even primaries for hunting rifle and pump shotgun auto shotgun users because of their unlimited ammo and decent potential. The pistol accuracy is relatively low as their spread is surpassed only by the shotguns, despite not being much higher than that of the other weapons. Second pistols for dual wielding will usually spawn on the first level of each campaign. This occurs most frequently on easy and normal modes. However, on advanced and expert they are often not available during the first level. Their weapon type is sidearm, and they're also called the Colt 1911 or Colt Government, and their place of origin is the United States. Their magazine size is 15 or 30 if dual wielded. They have infinite ammunition. Their damage per shot is 36. The rate of fire is 343/686 per minute, and 5.71 or 11.43 per second, or 1 shot per 0.175 or 0.08 per second. Their damage per second is up to 205.7 or 411.4. The damage per magazine is 540 or 1080 when dual wielded, and its total damage is infinite. These pistols are exclusive to Left 4 Dead 1 and do not make a comeback in Left 4 Dead 2 or its Left 4 Dead 1 downloadable content. The P220 pistol is a backup weapon of the survivors in Left 4 Dead 2, replacing the M1911 pistol from Left 4 Dead 1. It is one of the weapons they can use when knocked down, although with a slower rate of fire, greatly decreasing accuracy and slower reload time. The pistol is one of 2 weapons that has infinite ammunition. However, it is still limited to a magazine capacity of 15 rounds, or 30 if dual wielded. The P220 pistol's damage falls off as it loses 25% damage per 500 hammer units, has a max range of 2,500 hammer units. Even though they are meant as emergency weapons, pistols make great secondary weapons or even primary weapons for grenade launcher or shotgun users. They pack a punch larger than that of the M16 assault rifle, but smaller than the combat rifle, and possess better accuracy than most of the Tier 1 weapons. Pistols will usually spawn on the first level of each campaign. This occurs most frequently on Easy and Normal. However, on Advanced and Expert they are often not available during the first level. Its alternative name is the SIG Sauer P220, which its origins are West Germany and Switzerland, and they were made for the Swiss Army. Its weapon type is a sidearm, and its weapon tier is sidearm. Its magazine size is 50 or 30 if dual wielded. Its ammunition is infinite. Its damage per shot is 36. Its rate of fire is 300 or 600 if dual wielded per minute. Its damage per second is 175 or 350 if dual wielded. Its damage per magazine is 540 or 1080. And its total damage is infinite. The Glock 26 is a sidearm that was introduced in Left 4 Dead 2. If a second pistol is found, it will be a semi-automatic Glock 26, and the two pistols together can be dual-wielded. Second pistols are placed periodically by the director, but can also be picked up when dropped by a teammate who has taken a magnum or other melee weapon. Dual pistols doubles the player's available pistol ammo capacity to 30 rounds instead of 15, and increases the maximum rate of fire from 300 to 600 RPM, increasing the rate at which pistols can be fired significantly. When dual wielding two pistols, the accuracy of each decreases, recoil increases, and reload time increases slightly. When dual wielded, like the M1911 pistol, the left-hand pistol has no light. These pistols are the only weapons in the game that can be dual wielded. Unlike the M1911 pistol, it's possible to revert to a single pistol by taking a magnum or a melee weapon and take the pistols back. If you pick up a weapon that replaces the pistols, this will cause both to drop. The Glock 26 is a Glock, which is a series of polymer frame short recoil operated locked breech semi-automatic pistols with its place of origin as being Austria. All of the Glock stats are the same as the P220 pistol. The Magnum pistol is the most powerful ranged secondary weapon in Left 4 Dead 2. It has only an 8-round magazine and cannot be dual-wielded, but delivers one-hit kills to common infected on all game modes and on all difficulties. The Magnum pistol is less commonly spawned than an extra pistol is, and is typically found where that extra pistol would normally be. Unlike the common pistol, the Magnum's accuracy and rate of fire is the same regardless of whether it is fired standing or incapacitated, but still suffers from slower reloading time. The Magnum's damage fall off as it loses 25% damage per 500 hammer units and has a max range of 3,500 hammer units. Its alternative names is the Desert Eagle or just Deagle, and its weapon type is a sidearm, and its place of origin is United States and Israel. Its magazine size is 8, it has infinite ammunition, its damage per shot is 80, its reload time is 2 seconds, or 1.67 seconds with one bullet minimum, its rate of fire is 198, its damage per second is 267, its damage per magazine is 640, and its total damage is infinite. In this next part I'll talk about the melee weapons. These are weapons or sidearms that were introduced in Left 4 Dead 2 that are not pistols. These include the fire axe, the baseball bat, the cricket bat or paddle, the crowbar, the frying pan, golf club, guitar, katana, machete, a nightstick, and in the PC exclusives there's also pitchforks and shovels. There's also chainsaws in both versions. Each of the melee weapons deal pretty similar damage ranging from 16 to 20 depending on your accuracy of the shot you take, and they are very short ranged, and they can also decapitate common infected. For common and uncommon infected, it usually takes one hit to kill them. For jockeys and spitters, one hit. For hunters, smokers, and boomers, 5 hits to the legs, or one hit everywhere else, especially their heads. Charger's 1 hit to the head or 2 hits everywhere else. The Witch, it takes about 4 hits, and the Tank about 20 hits. Depending on which campaign you're playing, I find that each melee weapon is more common than others, such as when you first start the game in dead center at the top of the hotel. There are fire axes and crowbars presented to you that you can take. And then throughout the levels you can find the fire axe, the baseball bat, the crowbar, and I think the katana most commonly. And then the cricket bat and the machete and frying pan are most common after the third campaign onwards, which is what's its name? Um, Swamp Fever. Yeah, Swamp Fever. And then the guitar is most common in the Dark Carnival campaign, and the golf club is strictly for the passing campaign, which is a DLC where you meet the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors, and the nightstick is presented to you there too, and also at the end of the parish. I'm not too sure where the pitchfork and shovels may be. I'm assuming the third campaign Swamp Fever onward, because I play mine on the Xbox and not on the PC. The chainsaw is a special melee weapon that was introduced in Left 4 Dead 2. Unlike most other melee weapons, a chainsaw does a static 100 damage 10 times every second. It's a close combat weapon, and its damage per shot is 10, its rate of fire is 10 hits per second, and its damage per second is 1000. So yeah, it's very, very powerful. Just like other melee weapons, a chainsaw replaces a player's pistols in the sidearm slot. The chainsaw, however, is an exception to the above. It is an active close-quarter melee weapon that can cause massive damage to the infected, as well as friendly fire damage to nearby survivors caught in its arc. This factor is especially serious on advanced or expert difficulty, where even brief contact with other survivors will cause significant damage. Additionally, the chainsaw runs off an internal fuel tank that cannot be refilled, meaning that it will eventually run out. It should ideally be reserved for the most suitable circumstances, like the bridge dash finale in the parish, or when there is a planned horde. You know, like when you're going into the stadium and the Dark Carnival campaign. It can instantly kill any special infected, with the exception being the tank and the witch. The witch takes a little bit more practice to instantly kill her with the chainsaw, and then it can do massive damage to the tank, but the tank usually just knocks you back before you can fully kill it, so it's not really reliable when facing the tank. These next weapons are called Counter-Strike weapons. These weapons were originally exclusive to the German copies of Left 4 Dead 2 to make up for the censorship, as well as the Japanese arcade exclusive. But since the Last Stand update, non-German version players can now find them in a normal unmodified playthrough. They include the MP5, which is in Tier 1. In Tier 2, we have the SG552, the Scout, and the AWP, and the only melee weapon is a knife. The MP5 is a Tier 1 weapon that was introduced in the censored version of Left 4 Dead 2. It is the only Tier 1 weapon in that version. It is a variant of the submachine gun. Compared to its counterparts, it has a lower fire rate, slower reload speed, slightly higher accuracy, and its damage is 1 point higher than that of the silenced submachine gun. Overall, this translates to it dealing more damage per second than the submachine gun, but less than the silenced. In sustained fights against a tank, the MP5's stats cause its performance to be nearly identical to the submachine gun, with the margin of a second if consistently landing spots. The MP5 is superior for longer ranged engagements in early chapters if fired in short bursts thanks to its accuracy. Its high bullet damage and slow firing speed also give it more firing control compared to the other two submachine guns. Despite its slower firing speed, it's just as good for room clearing as its counterparts, although its slower reload means the user is left more vulnerable when it runs dry. Alternative names for it are H&K MP5 or the Heckler & Koch MP5. and its place of origin is West Germany. Its weapon type is a light assault and its main weapon. Its weapon tier is 1. Its magazine size is 50, its ammunition is 650, its damage per shot is 26, its reload time is 3.05 seconds, its rate of fire is 800 per minute, or 13.3 seconds, or 1 shot 0.07 seconds. Its damage per second is 347, its damage per magazine is 1,300, and its total damage is 18,200. The SG-552 is a Tier 2 weapon in the censored version of Left 4 Dead 2. It is a fully automatic assault rifle very similar in capability to the standard in-game M16 assault rifle. It has the same non-scope accuracy, damage per shot, and reserve ammo, but slightly higher fire rate, giving it the fastest rate of fire of all primary weapons, excluding the submachine gun family. On account of it being a hybrid between an assault and a sniper rifle, the SG-552 has extremely tight crosshairs when fired from a standing still posture. While it shares most of its stats with the M16 assault rifle, its reload is one of the slowest of all assault rifles in the game, solidifying it and the combat rifle as a long-range marksman rifles due to the high vulnerability while reloading. Unique for an assault rifle, the SG-552 has a 2x scope, which reduces its rate of fire but accentuates its long-range accuracy, much like a hunting rifle or sniper rifle. Its magnification in scope and accuracy is weaker than that of the sniper rifles, and it lacks their one-shot kill abilities, though this allows it to pick off distant targets the most effectively out of all rifles. Its alternative names are SIG SG-552 or the Craig 552, and its place of origin is Switzerland. Its weapon type is assault and main weapon, and its weapon tier is 2. Its magazine size is 50, its ammunition is 50 plus 360, its damage per shot is 33, its rate of fire with no scope is 727.2 per minute, or 12.2 shots per second, or 1 shot per 0.08 per second. With a scope, it's 444 per minute. A damage per second is 400 with no scope, or 244 with the scope. Its damage per magazine is 1,650, and its total damage is 13,530. The Scout is a Tier 2 weapon that was introduced in the center version of Left 4 Dead 2. It is a bolt-action variant of the hunting rifle, being one of the 2 bolt-action firearms in the game, along with the AWP. Compared to the hunting rifle, it has an identical magazine capacity, higher reserve ammunition, and higher damage, but significantly lower rate of fire due to its bolt-action nature. The Scout's main draw is its impressive accuracy for a sniper rifle. While it shares its accuracy and crosshair bloom with the hunting rifle, its bolt-action nature lets the crosshairs reset after every shot. This makes it very accurate even when moving, and it has the fastest reload of its type, making it surprisingly capable of attacking while on the move and having the least vulnerability of all the sniper rifles while reloading. In combination with the laser sight, its accuracy improves significantly to the point where it can perform hit-and-run tactics. Thanks to it being bolt action, it's also very difficult to run out of ammo with the Scout. Despite this, its fire rate is a notable drawback, as the user is likely to get swarmed by a horde and is left vulnerable if they miss their shot. Its additional damage is also not sufficient to make up for its poor rate of fire, giving it worse damage per second than a single P220 pistol. Due to this, it's extremely poor against special infected up close, and it's the worst primary weapon to use against the tank and the witch. Its official name is a Steyr Scout, and its place of origin is Austria. It's a sniping and main weapon type. Its weapon tier is 2, and its magazine size is 15, the ammunition is 180, its damage per shot is 105, its rate of fire is 66 per minute or 0.9 per second, its damage per second is 115.5, its damage per magazine is 1,350, and its total damage overall is 17,550. The AWP is a Tier 2 weapon that was introduced in the censored version of Left 4 Dead 2. It is a bolt-action variant of the hunting rifle, being one of the 2 bolt-action firearms in the game along with the Scout. In addition to having the second highest magazine capacity of any sniper rifle, this rifle inflicts a high amount of damage per shot, second only to that dealt out by shotguns measured on a per shot basis. This makes it effective for engaging common infected and weaker special infected from afar, and makes it good enough for engaging the horde in narrow environments. In exchange for its high caliber rounds, the AWP is very slow in many areas. It has the slowest rate of fire of any firearm, excluding the grenade launcher, the slowest reload speed excluding the shotgun family when reloaded from empty in the grenade launcher, and its accuracy drops heavily whilst moving. When scoped in, it also has very strong recoil after every shot, meaning it is difficult to use against extremely distant targets. Its additional damage is also not sufficient to make up for its very poor rate of fire, giving it worse damage per second than a single P220 pistol. Due to this, it is extremely poor against special infected up close, and is the second worst primary weapon to use against a tank and the witch, along with the scout. Its alternative names are the Arctic Warfare Police, Accuracy International, Arctic Warfare, or the Magnum Sniper Rifle, and its place of origin is the United Kingdom. Its weapon type is a sniper rifle and main weapon, and its weapon tier is 2. Its magazine size is 20, its ammunition is 20 plus 180, its damage per shot is 115, its rate of fire is 63 per minute or 1.105 per second, its damage per second is 115, its damage per magazine is 2,300, and its total damage is 23,000. The knife is a melee weapon that was introduced in the censored version of Left 4 Dead 1. I believe it is the only melee weapon you can get. Or maybe it's the only melee weapon. So I don't think in those versions there's like no axes or like crowbars or something. Its weapon type is a close combat weapon. Its rate of fire is 0.75 seconds per hit or 15 seconds to kill a tank, which is actually really impressive for such a small knife. Its alternative names are combat knives or seal knives. Also, you can only get these in the censored version, or if you have the regular version, through mods. This next part I will be explaining the weapon upgrades. There are 3 in total, and they are special items that lay scattered across maps to boost a weapon's ability. They are only found, and they were introduced in Left 4 Dead 2. They include the explosive ammunition, the incendiary ammunition, and the laser sights. Explosive ammunition, also known as fragmentation rounds or simply as frag rounds, explode on hitting any surface, including infected. This instantly kills all common infected regardless of any difficulty and knocks down anything within a few yards to where the explosion hit. The ammo causes massive damage to the common infected, destroying a large amount of torso and midsections depending on shot placement. It can also stumble any special infected besides a tank. On versus, the impact of explosive ammunition on human-controlled special infected will cause an infection to stumble a bit as though they have been hit by a survivor's melee attack, and their ears will ring, a condition known as tinnitus, as if they were hit by an explosion, such as from a propane tank. But be careful though, shooting at targets point blank with explosive ammunition will inflict damage on yourself and nearby teammates. Incendiary ammunition, sometimes called incendiary ammo or simply fire bullets, sets all common and special infected on fire with the exception of infected CETA workers and Jimmy Gibbs Jr. Infected CETA workers are immune to all sources of fire and will not be ignited by incendiary ammunition under any circumstances, though they will still take bullet damage. Jimmy Gibbs Jr. spawns very rarely in the atrium on the Dead Center campaign and wears a fireproof racing suit. Picking up incendiary ammo for a grenade launcher will give it an incendiary grenade that causes the explosion to almost double in size and also ignites the body parts flying away. But since only one grenade will be incendiary, a player has to plan carefully when to use it. Since incendiary ammunition is a one-hit kill against common and uncommon infected on all difficulties and in realism mode, it's advised to conserve your fire and attempt to only hit each infected once. Incendiary rounds are less effective when applied to sniper rifles and one-hit kill weapons, as it just adds a burning and no extra firepower. It does have extra effect against enemies like riot infected or special infected, however. You Use caution while on the run or defending, as dying infected can obscure your view. Laser sights were introduced in Left 4 Dead 2, and they are a tool used to enhance the accuracy of weapons and show other survivors where your line of fire is. Laser sights can only be attached to any primary weapon when using a laser sight pile. Once attached, a laser sight sticks to the chosen weapon and cannot be transferred to any other weapon. This also applies to weapons of the same type. Swapping a laser sight equipped combat rifle with another combat rifle will not grant the new one a laser sight, nor will it remove the sight from the old gun. A laser sight can aid your aim and decrease spread considerably, so your best bet is to attach one to an AK-47 or silenced submachine gun. Powerful but highly inaccurate weapons that fire fast can become devastating when paired with laser sights. Shotguns are meant to have a wide spread to be effective at close range, which goes against the purpose of laser sights. The spread decrease buff does not do anything for the grenade launcher, which technically fires a grenade as accurately as possible. If players have a hard time firing their sniper weapons accurately, laser sights may enhance their aim. For the hunting rifle, sniper rifle, and grenade launcher, only their moving accuracy is improved. These next items are classified as grenades. Each of the survivors can carry one at a time, and there are 3 different kinds. There are Molotov cocktails, pipe bombs, and bile bombs. I'm surprised that they didn't actually add hand grenades or flash grenades. That would be pretty interesting if they ever did Left 4 Dead 3, and they did. The Molotov cocktail is a throwable weapon that engulfs an area with flames for approximately 15 to 17 seconds. The area of effect is quite large and spreads over time before self-extinguishing. The fire will burn all infected that come into contact with it. Common infected who run into the flames will burn to cinders, flailing wildly in the process. Special infected, however, are able to withstand the heat. While they will burn to death unless they extinguish the fire, they can still attack survivors. The Molotov cocktail is dangerous in close combat because the splash damage and flames may cause a player and nearby teammates to lose health. While it is burning, it can ignite other combustible items, such as a gas can, propane tank, fireworks, the explosive barrel, and the oxygen tanks. Such items will continue burning even after being picked up, making them unsalvageable after igniting. A funny thing I like to do also with these is that I use a bile bomb, which attracts the horde of zombies to a specific area into the cloud, and then I use a Molotov cocktail and burn all of them at once. It's really funny. The pipe bomb is an improvised explosive device that can be used offensively, defensively, and for diversionary purposes. The visual design is stereotypical, but with the addition of a bright red LED and loudly beeping smoke detector to attract common infected when armed and thrown. Pipe bombs explode 6 seconds after being thrown. Its blast radius is relatively small, being confined to little over 3 to 4 meters or 10 to 13 feet on the normal difficulty setting. However, since a well-deployed pipe bomb is usually tightly surrounded by enemies, as many as 20 or more can be killed at once. Since a pipe bomb blast can also injure survivors and stumble them if close enough, care is needed to ensure that teammates are at a safe distance when one goes off. Pipe bombs can be an extremely useful weapon in many situations. It can be used offensively to clear out an area, defensively against a horde, or to draw off enemies from an incapacitated teammate, and for diversionary purposes, such as when disengaging at the end of a finale. Also, I actually managed to stumble a tank with one. I heard it coming and I threw one near where it would end up, and it actually stumbled it and we killed the tank with no effort at all. It was really fun. The bile bomb, aka boomer bile, vomit jar, or simply puke, is a weapon which appears in Left 4 Dead 2. The weapon was first mentioned in the achievement list. The bile bomb is a throwable glass jar containing green boomer bile. When thrown, it sends the infected horde to wherever it hits, acting as bait for 20 seconds, and potentially causing friendly fire by leading the horde to attack any infected coated with the bile. When a bile bomb hits any type of infected, survivors will be able to see the affected infected's aura outlined in bright purple. Bile bombs overall allow for a brief moment of rest and preparation during a battle. The biobomb can often be found where the first two levels of Dead Center. It may also be dropped by CETA workers infected, though this is less common. The biobomb uses the same inventory slot as a pipe bomb and Molotov cocktail, so only one of the three can be carried at once. They can also be used on witches and tanks, in which common infected will swarm and attack them and slow them down if they're coming towards you, which is actually surprisingly useful. And also you can find one at the end of the Dark Carnival campaign, when you're inside the stadium. If you check all the rooms inside the stadium before you enter the arena. It's actually really useful during the end when the helicopter comes towards you, and you can throw it far away from the helicopter before getting in, because in those Dark Carnival levels there's just way too many infected sometimes, and it can easily be overwhelming. These next class of items are known as usable items. These are found throughout the campaigns, albeit the explosive barrel and the fireworks. While carrying one, shoving is the only available option. They contain volatile substances and will often detonate if hit by bullets, explosions, or incendiary attacks, releasing their payload in a certain area. Area denial provided by them are often valuable during crescendos or finale events. They include the gas can, oxygen tanks, propane tanks, fireworks, and explosive barrels. The gas cans, when shot, will burst into flames, but they will not explode. I believe they last a little bit longer, if not the same, as Molotov cocktails. The oxygen tanks will release air for like about 2.5 seconds before exploding. Unless it is shot with a shotgun or grenade launcher, thus it will explode instantaneously. The propane tank will explode instantaneously and kill a bunch of infected. The fireworks will explode and act as flames, covering a large area. The same with the explosive barrel, which will burst and explode, and the top of it will go flying off, so you have to watch out for that. And it will burst into flames, kind of like the gas can and the fireworks. The fireworks are only found during the finale of Left 4 Dead 2's Dark Carnival campaign, and the explosive barrels, I believe, are only found in Left 4 Dead 1's The Sacrifice campaign. Special items, like usable items, take over all of the survivor's abilities to use weapons, and can be used to knock back infected. However, these are special in the way that they are only found in specific places and are used to complete specific tasks. They are only found in Left 4 Dead 2. The cola is a usable item only found in Left 4 Dead 2 and the Dead Center campaign. After contacting the gun store owner, Whitaker, he will make a deal with you. He asks you to find some cola in the Save for Last Mart near the gun store, and by getting the cola it will trigger a crescendo event. When you get the cola, you can only perform shove back actions against the infected, and once you bring the cola successfully back to Whitaker, he will blow up the truck blocking the path to the mall. Noam Chomsky is a garden gnome and improvised weapon exclusive to the Dark Carnival campaign of Left 4 Dead 2. He made his debut in Valve's Half-Life 2 Episode 2 as a garden gnome and is infamous for earning players the achievement Little Rocket Man. In Left 4 Dead 2, he can be picked up by scoring over 750 points in the shooting gallery minigame in the fairgrounds, and must be taken all the way to the rescue chopper in the concert, or the finale of the Dark Carnival, to unlock the Garden Gnome achievement. All players within the entire Dark Carnival campaign playthrough will attain the achievement, dead or alive, so as long as one survivor makes it to the rescue chopper with Noam Chomsky in hand. He also has his own mutation, known as Last Gnome on Earth, where players start off with the gnome in the beginning, bringing him to every safe house and eventually the rescue vehicle. Scavenger gas cans are special items that can be found in Left 4 Dead 2. They are distinguished from the regular gas cans because they are yellow in color. They can be found throughout Scavenger mode, which is a competitive gameplay mode released in Left 4 Dead 2. It is a round-based game in which survivors attempt to find up to 22 gas cans to refuel a generator or car, while fighting against a player-controlled special infected, much like a versus game. Before a game starts, a host can choose the amount of rounds to play, 1, 3, or 5. If you're playing in normal campaign mode, they are only found in the Dead Center's finale, in which you have to fuel Jimmy Gibbs Jr.'s stock car to get out of the mall. Or in the passing campaign, when you have to refuel the generators to lower the bridge.
There are also green gas cans, or I think they're diesel. You can find them in Left 4 Dead 1's Last Stand campaign, where you have to refuel the boat. Or in Left 4 Dead 2's Hard Rain campaign, where they can be found at the gas station at the end of the sugar mill level, where you have to take it all the way back to the boat to refuel it.
Fixed weapons. Over the course of the campaigns, the survivors find fixed gun emplacements left behind by the military in their failed attempt to contain the infection in the areas. They appear at certain finales and crescendo events and have an infinite supply of ammo. However, they are prone to overheating, which renders them temporarily unusable. When a survivor uses a mounted gun, they cannot move and can only fire in a fixed arc. They include the minigun in Left 4 Dead 1 or the heavy machine gun in Left 4 Dead 2. The minigun is a mounted weapon in Left 4 Dead 1. It is designated for defending intense standoff areas. The miniguns were presumably left behind by the military, but were abandoned when the army left or were killed. It has a small wind-up time, but once it starts firing, it becomes one of the best support weapons in the game. The gun is very powerful but can lose its accuracy at longer ranges. It is bolted to the floor so it cannot be moved, only swiveled in a 170-degree arc in front of the gun. It has infinite ammo but can overheat. This is shown as the minigun's barrel quickly glows red, as well as the emission of smoke. The smoke also impairs your vision, causing you to have a harder time shooting accurately. However, this is not an imminent signal of the minigun jamming, as it takes 20 seconds of continuous firing before overheating, and takes 3 seconds to cool down if it overheats. Its weapon type is other, its magazine size is infinite, its ammunition is infinite, it does 32 damage per shot, its rate of fire is 1500 RPM, its damage per second is 800, and its damage per magazine and total damage is both infinite. The heavy machine gun is a mounted weapon that was featured in Left 4 Dead 2. It is new in the sense that it replaces a minigun from Left 4 Dead 1. It fires extremely powerful bullets accurately and operates with a slower rate of fire relative to the minigun. Ammunition is unlimited. Unlike the minigun, there is no wind-up time and it fires the instant the trigger is operated. The HMG can fire continuously for 15 seconds and take 1 minute to cool down if it overheats. The only sign of overheating is the barrel glowing from orange to yellow hot, indicating that it's about to overheat, and any further usage will render it useless for a full minute. The weapon type is other, its magazine size and ammunition is infinite, it does 50 damage per shot, its rate of fire is 8 bullets each second, the damage per second is 400, and the damage per magazine and total damage are infinite. The flashlight is an item that is always in the survivor's inventory and is attached to every firearm the player can obtain. They cannot drop it, but they can turn it on and off at free will, and it will never run out of power. The flashlight, however, will attract special infected, common infected, and it will startle the witch. It will also make them easier to spot because the common infected's eyes will glow white and the witch's eyes will glow red. Every single survivor says turn off your light when they hear witch crying because the light will startle her and make it harder for it to sneak up on her and try and kill her instantly. Ammo dumps are piles that consist of boxes of bullets and ammo that are found at the start of every single level. They replenish whatever weapon you have to full capacity, with the exception being the grenade launcher, the chainsaw, and the M60 machine gun. They can also be found strewn out the levels. You just have to look in different rooms to find them. In this next part, I'll be talking about health items. These include first aid kits, pain pills, adrenaline shots, and the defibrillator. First aid kits, also called health packs, are valuable health items in Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. They are arguably the most valuable and helpful healing item, with a base healing of about 80, which can heal you if you are in the red or are in the dying state. They are pretty rare but extremely crucial to you and your team's survival. 4 will spawn at the beginning of every single campaign, and 4 will always be in every single safe room. Pain pills are a type of health item that appear in both Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. They provide the user with 50 temporary health points, which actually can be really helpful in dire circumstances, especially if you are in the yellow or red and none of your teammates or yourself have first aid kits. But beware, as I said, 50 temporary health points, so these will run out.
And go down over time, even when not engaged with an infected.
The adrenaline shot is a health item that appears in both Left 4 Dead games. It is an adrenaline shot, and when you take it, it makes you run faster and perform actions faster, such as picking up incapacitated survivors or healing. It also helps you get through crowds of zombies a lot faster, which can really help. To add to this, it provides with 25 temporary health points. On top of these effects, you can also revive dead survivors faster with a defibrillator. And also, in the Dark Carnival campaign of Left 4 Dead 2, you can hit the bell game with a melee weapon and causing the bell to fall off and causing a crescendo event and getting an achievement. I think it's called Stash Whacker. The defibrillator, also called the defib unit, and chest paddles are a health item that appear in both games. Their only effect is they can revive dead survivors that have been killed by the infected. While that may seem really good, it's arguably the worst health item in the game, as they are very rare and super situational. They also cause you to drop your first aid kit when picked up, so please decide with care whether you want to take the defibrillator or not. And lastly, this final part will be cut weapons, or weapons that were cut from the final products of the game. In the original Left 4 Dead 1's games, sound, weapons, and text files, listings for a flare gun and a LAW rocket launcher can be found, but they are all commented out. It is likely that these weapons were scrapped early in development, as none of the pre-release footage shows either of these weapons being used. Also one can find mentions of some upgrades to firearms, such as a bayonet/knife and a blinding flash. In Left 4 Dead 2, there were originally going to be a riot shield and a didgeridoo as usable melee weapons in the game. However, they were cut for unknown reasons. The riot shield was fully modeled, animated, and textured and can still be spawned in-game, both via the console and during custom campaigns, while the didgeridoo has a low poly model but no textures or animations. In Hard Rain, there was also supposed to be a flare gun, but it was cut during early development. It was meant to be found somewhere near the end of the level, with the possible ability to help survivors see in the rain. A clue that there was a flare gun originally is reflected in an occasional conversation at the start of the Hard Rain campaign, where Nick wonders how they can signal Virgil, to which Ellis replies, "Oh, there's flares in the gun bag." Nick then admits to forgetting the gun bag on Virgil's ship. Ammo packs were also set to be an alternative to the health kit. When deployed, it would let all survivors be able to restock on ammo. It was cut because players found it less valuable than the medikit and expected to find an ammo pile further on. And, finally, in early development, Coach was seen with a compound bow, which was never put into the game. I think that it would have been really cool if they put a bow and arrow or crossbow weapons in the game. I'm surprised that they didn't. Okay, and that's going to be the end of the weapons and other usable items in the Left 4 Dead game video. Thank you so much for watching. I put a lot of research in this video, and it really means a lot to me. So please like, share, subscribe, and comment below. I am Pink Lemonade Guy, and I will see you guys in the next video with the Left 4 Dead 2 gameplay. Bye!